This is all cleanup after Biden. Biden did this to the country. The Democrat Party did this to the country. Kamala Harris, the border czar. She just forgot what border she's supposed to protect. The media, they did it to our country. Remember? The border's secure. That went on for 2.5 years, and all of a sudden, it's not secure. We need bipartisan legislation, and Trump killed it. It's his fault. It's amazing the extent to which the ruling class in our country and all over the world, these phony elitists, are really reprobates. It's amazing how they're so worried about not the American citizen, not even their own citizens, not the fact that their cultures are being destroyed, their cities are being destroyed. You've got mass rapes going on in Britain. It's now a huge scandal. You have Jews in France saying there won't be any Jews left here in 10 years. We've got to get out of here because of the massive influx from the Middle East. In our own country, we have the Hitler Youth, many of whom we've imported from all over the world into our country, joining up with the homegrown Marxists. And here we have, Venezuelan gangs that murder people, that extort people, that torture people, right in our own apartment buildings in Colorado. And in New York, they attack our cops. We have people in these cities, relatively poor people or lower middle class people, often black and Hispanic or other minorities, begging the government to come in and remove these people. After all, they are murderers and rapists and pedophiles who are threatening American citizens of all races and backgrounds and so-called wealth categories. But the media, it's Donald Trump. You know what this looks like? This looks like Hitler. What are you talking about, you idiot? This looks like the Third Reich. Have you ever been to Germany or Poland or parts of Europe that had these death camps? Have you ever walked through one of these death? Have you ever watched a movie, a film, a black and white to see what they're like? What do you mean they're death camps? We're taking them out of these 5-star hotels. We're taking their credit cards away from them. We're taking their Obama phones away from them, the Biden apps away from them. We're not flying them into the country anymore. We're flying them out of the country. What are you talking about? Wow. It's gone international now. The British, who really lost their way. That's an empire that has collapsed. They have a disgusting prime minister who didn't protect his people. I mean, protect them from massive roaming bands of Pakistani Muslims who were raping and selling these British women, these English women, and these little girls into a sex slavery. It is a huge scandal right now, and I could go on and on and on. And most of our cities, the mayors have done the same thing. We're a sanctuary city. No, you belong in a sanctuary, but I don't know, a sanctuary city? Oh, yes. What does that mean? That means they don't follow federal law. What did we used to call that? The Confederacy. Yes, the Confederacy. They're Confederates. Here we have Tom Homan, and there's a British reporter, and the British reporters really suck. They are really crazed. And so let's see what happens here. It's very good, I'm told. Go.
You treating migrants humanely,
Yes.
but there's been reports of them on planes with no water,
That was a bunch of
complaining.
crap. That was a bunch of crap.
What do you mean a bunch of crap?
ICE detention facilities have the highest detention standards in the industry. Any of the ICE standards, our detention standards are higher than any state or federal or local facility in the nation, in the world. Someone should go to the ICE website, look at PBNDS 11, performance-based detention standards, and look at our detention standards, highest in the industry.
But are you sure you're only getting illegal criminal migrants? I mean, there were some pictures over the weekend of people that claim to be students, Brazilian students, who were showing examples of bruises on their arms from American deportation flights.
That's ridiculous, but if they want to make a complaint, it'll be investigated.
But your assurance is what?
The men and women of ICE are professionals. We do this for a living. And I can tell you, I ran ICE for years. I was the first director of ICE came up through the ranks. Again, these men and women are professional, highest detention standards in the industry. We take care of these people. But we're going to enforce the law, and we're not going to apologize for doing it.
And you're going to do it in a sort of public way with, do you need to use the big military planes? Is that part of a sort of shock and awe tactic?
Hold on a second. She doesn't even know what to ask. She's such a dunderhead. Do you need to use the big military planes? No, we can use a 747 and we can sort of redo the interior of it and make it much more comfortable and make sure that the food that is expected from the culture is fed to them properly and so forth. How stupid is this? To use big military planes, should we use small military planes? The fact that we have to do any of this This is all cleanup after Biden. That's what it is. Biden did this to the country. The Democrat Party did this to the country. Kamala Harris, the border czar. She just forgot what border she's supposed to protect. The border czar. That's right. They did this to our country. The media, including clowns like this, they did it to our country. Remember? The border's secure. That went on for 2.5 years, and all of a sudden, it's not secure. We need bipartisan legislation, and Trump killed it. It's his fault. So Trump's getting rid of these people. He needs to get rid of them. And when we're done with criminals, it's the other people. Are you going to storm in the schools and go into churches and so forth? They're not going to go into schools to pull out people. They'll wait till they leave school. But if there's criminals in schools, like murderers and pedophiles and rapists, should they wait? Is that what the local sheriff would do in Loudoun County, Virginia? Oh, he's in school. Let's leave the guy. He's got a murder warrant. That's all right. He's in school. He's in the school zone. We don't touch it. What kind of stupidity is this? Go ahead.
They haven't been used before, have they, for migrants?
No, we got President Trump. We're going to use all the government to secure our border, which is the biggest national security vulnerability this country's ever seen. And we're going to force laws to this country. It's not okay to enter this country illegally. It's a crime. And when you cause a crisis as big as the Biden administration caused, when you overwhelm the Border Patrol, but they can't do their national security job, that's when the fentanyl come across, kill 250,000 Americans. That's when you have a 600% increase in sex trafficking. That's when you have a record number of no-inspected terrorists coming across an open border. President Trump's going to secure the border as promised to the American people. We're going to enforce immigration laws. That's what we're going to do, without apology. We're on board. We're going to go forward. You're going to see it get a hell of a lot bigger in the near future.
Boy, she didn't know what to say to that. Notice they never do talk about the deaths from fentanyl and all the women sold into sex trafficking. See, my question to her would be, do you know how many have been? No. Well, why don't you look into that? Do you know where any of these kids are, the 325,000? And by the way, now they say it's much higher than that. Can you believe that? It might be 500,000 unaccompanied minors who are missing, who we've lost track of. You know what HHS's final word on that was under the Biden? Not our responsibility. Once we turn them over, it's not a... No, it is. You're supposed to be tracking them because you're not sure who you're turning them over to. Truth be told, you're not sure if they're being properly treated. Hundreds of thousands of foreign kids. We don't know what's happened to them. And these reporters and the Democrats pretend that they are the humanitarians, that they are compassionate. They're not. They're vile. They're evil. That's what they are.
For all this and much more, sign up for Levin TV.